Hi there, hope you have a fantastic day. This lesson, I will go through 2024 HSC paper with you. Of course, there's the PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. First one, which of the following could be the equations of these functions? So first of all, we know that the gradient is negative because it's heading this way. So therefore, the gradient is negative. So this means that we have a negative gradient. So the answer should be C or D. Then if we look into further, the y-intercept is positive. So we have positive y-intercept. So therefore, this is positive 3. So therefore, the answer should be C. There you go. Question number 2. A group of 60 students, 38 play basketball. So let me highlight this first. We know that the total number of students are 60. And 38 plays basketball. 15 plays hockey. 5 do not play either basketball or hockey. So let me just draw a Venn diagram for this first. So we know that we have basketball. Let's say this is B, and we have hockey, H. There you go. And we have 60 students all together. And we know that there are 38 students play basketball. So basketball here is 38. And 35 plays hockey. 35 here. And 5 outside here do not play either basketball or hockey. Now we can work out how many students plays basketball and hockey. First of all, we know that in this circle here must be 38. Let's say this is X. So therefore, we know that in this circle here must be 38 altogether. We already have X. So basketball only will be 38 minus X. And for hockey is 35 altogether. And we also have X already. So what we do, we just go 35 minus X. So now we just add them up. So 38 here, this circle here, and we add this will give me 60. So let's work this out. So this means that basketball 38, and then we add. So this is 38 altogether, and then we need to add this minus X, and we add 5, give me 60. So there you go. Now we just need to solve it. So now we know that 35 plus 5 is 40, correct? And then I just minus 40 on both sides. 38 minus X, if we minus 40, so that will give me 20. So therefore, X must be equal to 18 because 38 minus 18 give me 20. So the answer should be B. So that is the answer. Question number 3. To work out which subject Pia did best, so we need to work out the Z-score. Okay, the greater Z-score, the better it is. Okay, so now we just need to work out the Z-score. So for English, so we know that Z-score, let me just write underneath here. So Z is equal to X minus the mean, which is X bar, over the standard deviations. So now we know that X is 78 and the mean is this. And the standard deviations is 6. So we just quickly use calculator, work that out because it is multiple choice questions. So X is 78. So put 78 and the mean is 66. So I just minus it and I divide it by the standard deviations, which is 6. So the Z-score is 2. So let me just write this down. Z is equal to 2. Now for mathematics, so we just go Z is X is 80. We minus the mean, that is 71. And then we divide by 10. So 9 over 10 is 0.9. So Z is 0.9. So far, English is the best. Now science, so we just go fractions, 77 minus the mean, that is 70, and we divide by 15. So that is 0.47. That would do. So Z is equal to 0.47. Now for history, so we go 88 is the X, and we minus the mean, that is X bar, 72. Then we divide by the standard deviation, that is 9. So divide by 9. There you go, 1.44. 1.44. So therefore, English has the highest Z score. So that means English performed the best. Okay, so the answer should be A, English. Question number 4. The parabola is reflected about the y-axis. This then reflected about the x-axis. So we know that reflected about the y-axis. So this means that it is f of negative x. So keep that in mind. So negative x, so we just replace, okay? F of negative x is, so every time we see x, we replace with negative x. So x becomes negative x. So it becomes minus x minus 3 all square minus 2. So there you go. Now it's reflected about the x-axis. So that becomes minus f of x. Okay, keep that in mind. So in this case, of course, is minus f of negative x, because we reflect about y-axis and then x-axis. So now we just turn by negative, and then this becomes negative. I just put in the back here, okay? Then I rewrite it out. So that will give me negative bracket negative x minus 3 square plus 2. So that should be it. But then, because in multiple choice, we don't have this type, okay? So therefore, what I do, I take out the negative factor out. So let me just get into this. So that will give me negative inside. I take negative factor out, become negative bracket x plus 3, and then you square it, and then plus 2. So that's what it is. But then don't forget, okay, square of a negative number will give me positive. So that should give me equal, the negative still in front here. And then we go brackets. So x plus 3 all square plus 2. Okay, because the negative square give me a positive. And then we have x plus 3 square. And there you go. So the answer should be, we just look for the answer now, should be C. There you go. Thank you. Question number 5. So if we integrate f dash x, f of x power n dx, that will give us 1 over n plus 1 f of x n plus 1. Okay, keep that in mind and add c, of course. So there you go. So if we differentiate inside here, that will give us 6. So we can make this like this. Let me just write this down. Integrate 6x plus 1 power of 3 dx is exactly the same as we times by 6 and then we divide by 6. like that. So that means differentiate this will give me this. So that means f dash x, okay, outside. So now we just apply the rules. So that will give me 1 over 6, and then 3 plus 1 is 4, 1 over 4. F of x is 6x plus 1 power 4, and add a c. So there you go. But then we just time this together. A quarter times 1/6 give me 1 over 24. So that is equal to 1 over 24 bracket 6x plus 1 power 4, we plus c. So there you go. So the answer should be A. 1 over 24, 6x plus 1 power 4 at C. There you go. Question number 6. So to find the domain for these functions, so first of all, we know that we cannot square root a negative number. So therefore, we know that inside here must be greater or equal to 0. So let me just write this down. So that means x squared minus 1 must be greater or equal to 0, because we can square root a 0, right? But we cannot square root a negative number. But then if we have x squared minus 1 equal to 0, that means the denominator here is 0. So we cannot divide by 0, because 1 divided by square root of x squared minus 1. So therefore, we cannot have 0. So we remove this. So x squared minus 1 must greater than 0. So let me just quickly solve this. So we know that x squared is like this. But minus 1, we just move down 1 unit. So this is 1, this is negative 1. That is the x-intercepts. So therefore, these are greater than 0. So this means that the answer should be from this onward. So that is from negative infinity to negative 1, excluding, okay? And this part here is from 1 onward. So that means union from 1 to infinity and excluding, okay? Because you can't have 1, okay? If you have 1, the denominator 0. You cannot divide by 0. So the answer should be B. There you go. Question number 7. So which of the following best represent the graph f of 2x minus 1? So first of all, f of 2x minus 1. So this means that is horizontal dilations with a factor of a half. And then shift 1 unit to the right. Keep that in mind. Let me just write it on here. So we know that if f of 2x, so this means that the dilations, horizontal dilations with a factor of a half. So this means that these two become 1. And these 4, half of 4 give me 2. So it becomes here. And half of 0, still 0. So your graph is the shape like this. Like that, okay? But then we shift 1 unit to the right. So f of 2x minus 1. So this means that the 0 we move to 1, and 1 move to 2, and 2 we move to 3. So keep that in mind. So the graph should be something like this. That would do. So that should be D. That's your answer. So there you go. Question number 8. So we need to work out which of the histograms do not reflect on the box plot. So by looking at the box plot, so we know that the gap here, that is, let me write this down. This is the minimum This is Q1, Q2, Q3, and max. So this means that maximum score with minus Q3 is much smaller than Q3 minus Q2. Similarly, Q1 minus minimum is a lot smaller than Q2 minus Q1. So we just need to work out this value and then we can compare. Okay, so for example, for part A, let's say the score here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let me just list it out here. Okay, so 1 come out 2 times, so 1, 1. 2 come out 3 times, 1, 2, 3. 3, the frequency of 3 is 2, 3, 3. For 4, 4, 4. 5, 5, 5. And 6 is 3 times, 6, 6, 6. And 7 is 2 times. So there you go. We just need to work out the maximum is 7, minimum is 1. Then we need to work out the median. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to here. So therefore the median is 4. So let me just write this down. So Q2 is 4. And we can just cross out 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So halfway there. So Q3 is 6. And Q1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 2. So Q1 is 2. So we have this. By looking at the graph, so Q3 minus Q2, that give me 2 here. And Q2 minus Q1 is 2. And Q1 minus the minimum score, which is 1. And then maximum minus Q3, which is 7 minus 1, is 1. So it does reflect on the box and whisker plot. So cannot be A. Okay, A is reflect on the box plot. So let me try part B. So option B, if you like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 come out 3 times. So let me just write out here. So we have 1, 1, 1. 2 come out 2 times. 1, 2. 3 is just 1. 4, the frequency of 4 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is 1. 6 is 2 times. 6, 6. And 7 is 3 times. 7, 7, 7. And we have the median is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 8, 8. So halfway is 4. The median is 4. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means is 2 here. Q2 is 4. Q3 is 1, 2, 3, 4 is here. So that means 6. So let's have a look. So this means that maximum minus Q3 is 1. And then we have Q2 minus minimum, give me 1. Because 2 minus 1 is 1. And then we have Q3 minus Q2, that is 2. Because 6 minus 4 is 2. And Q2 minus Q1, that is 4 minus 2 is 2. So this actually reflecting on the box plot. So you cannot be A or B. Now let's check out option C. So we have the score of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for score of 1, the frequency is 2. So that means 1, 1. So 2 has a frequency of 4. So 2, 2, 2, 2. And the score of 3 has a frequency of 2. 3, 3. 4 has a frequency of 0. 5 has a frequency of 2. So 5, 5. And 6 has a frequency of 4. So 6, 6, 6, 6. And 7 is twice. 1, 2. So now let's find the median first. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there you go. That is the median. So median is between 3 and 5. So that means 4. And the lower quartile is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So between 2 and 2, the lower quartile is 2. For upper quartile, we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So halfway. So the upper quartile is 6. So there you go. To work out the maximum minus upper quartile, 7 minus 6 is 1. So let me clear this. So maximum minus Q3 is 1. 7 minus 6 is 1. Now Q3 minus Q2, that give me 2. So let me just write this down. That is 2. And then median Q2 minus Q1 give me 2. And then the Q3 minus the minimum give me 1. So there you go. So it's reflecting on the box plot because the gap and the number is reflecting on this. So now the answer should be D. Of course, we can work it out, see if it is. Okay, of course it should be because that's the last option. So let's check it out. So we have 1. Let me clear this first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the score of 1 has a frequency of 1. 2 is 1, 2. 3 is 4. So 3, 3, 3, 3. And 4 is twice. 4, 4. Then we have 5 is 4 times. So 5, 5, 5, 5. 6 has a frequency of 2. And then 7. There you go. Let's work out the median. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 8. So in between this. So therefore the median is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This give me 5. That is the upper quartile. Then lower quartile, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So halfway, so this is 3. So therefore, the maximum score is 7 minus Q3 is 5. So 7 minus 5 is 2. So this is 2. And then Q3 minus Q2, 5 minus 4, give me 1. So there you go. You can see that this gap is smaller than this gap here, but the number is larger. So therefore, it doesn't reflect on this box plot here. Okay, let's go a bit further. So we have Q3 minus minimum is 2. And Q2 minus Q1 is 1. So Q2 minus Q1 is 1. And Q1 minus minimum is 2. So therefore, these numbers should be other way around. Okay, because the gap is smaller. Okay, so therefore, D does not reflect on the box plot. So you can see there. Okay, the gap is smaller. And therefore, the number should be smaller as well. But in this case, it's not. So the answer is D. Question number 9. Given that one of the marbles Jovan has selected is red, what is the probability that the other marble that he has selected is also red? So this is important here. He said, given that one of the marble Jovan selected is red. So that means we know that at least one of the marble is red. So, and then this is conditional probability. So let me just write on here. Probability of A given B is equal to probability of A and B over probability of B. So keep that in mind. Now the question is this. First of all, given that one of the marbles is red, so that means we know that at least one of them is red. So therefore, so probability of red, given that at least one of them is red. One red, that is equal to probability of red and red over probability at least one red. So there you go. So first of all, red and red is, let me clear this first. It's this one here, red and red. So 2/5 times a quarter. So that is equal to 2/5 times 1/4 over at least one red. So this means that two red or one red, and this is red. So we just need to find all these probability add together. So like 2/5 times a quarter, and this is 3/5 times 3/4, and this is 3/5 times 2/4. So we just work this out and add them all up, okay? So that's what it is. But easier, we just go 1 minus this one out, because all the probability add up, give me 1. So I just go 1 minus white. So I don't want that. So 3/5 and 4/2. So that means 1 minus 3/5 times 2/4. So that should give me, I just go fractions, 2/5. I times 1/4. And then we go 1 minus 3/5. We times 2/4. 1/7. So the answer should be B. There you go. Question number 10. How many points of inflections does the graph y equal ax have? So point of inflections, the possible point of inflections is when a double dash is equal to 0, right? So let me just make note on this first. So we know that a double dash of x equals 0. That is possible point of inflections, okay? So then we need to understand ax is equal to integral of f of t dt from 0 to x first. So this means that if we integrate this, evaluate this, that will give us this, f of x. So in another word, ax is f of x. So please keep this in mind, okay? First of all, then we know that this f of x is the integrations of f of x. So keep that in mind. In another word, if I differentiate this, give me f of x and differentiate this. So this means that f of x is a dash x. So in another word, this graph here is a dash x, okay? That's what that meant. So please keep this in mind before we even do anything else. So first of all, possible point inflections is when a double dash is 0. So I can just get the gradient of this. Will give me a double dash x. Then let me just quickly do it. Okay, so to graph this, so we know that if we differentiate the a dash x again, this is the 0. Okay, and this is 0 at q as well, and this is 0. So please keep this in mind for me, and this is 0. So these points are a double dash x is equal to 0. So this point has possible point of inflections. So it's possible, okay, not always. So then we have to look further, you know, the concavity. So if we have positive 0, negative for a double dash of x, so this means point of inflections, or negative 0, positive. Okay, so point inflections. But then if concavity doesn't change, so therefore no point inflections. So keep that in mind. Concavity, very important. So I can either draw the graph again, or I can just inspect from here. So let me just graph it, okay, so you can see it easier. So to graph it, first we look at this gradient here. This gradient here, because we draw the gradient of the gradient, so it's negative gradient, because a line go like this, we have negative gradient. A line heading this way, we have positive. At the moment is heading like this, so we have negative gradient. So therefore, so we start from the bottom, we hit 0, and then we go positive because these are positive gradient, and become 0. So we're heading down, and then this one here positive again, so we have to turn up. Okay, it's a turning point there, and then 0. So that means we gonna head down to 0, and then we go further negative, this negative, and it becomes 0. So we go down, we go up, and this is positive gradient, so we just go like this. So let me just clear some of this first, makes it easier to read. So there you go, this is a double dash. So these are a double dash is equal to 0. So that means there are possible point of inflections. So we need to find the concavity. So we need to look further into the concavity. So if you look at the concavity, this a double dash is negative. We have 0 and positive. So concavity changes. So this is point of inflections. And this one, 0, a double dash is positive because a double dash means above. Okay, this itself already a double dash. So positive, and this a double dash is positive as well. So the concavity of this doesn't change. So it's not a point of inflections. So let me just cross this out. And here we have positive and we have negative. So let me just write this down. So we have 0 double dash, and we have positive double dash, and we have negative. So that means concavity changes from positive to negative. So this is another point of inflections. And let's look at this one. And we have negative and 0, of course, and we have positive. So therefore, this also changes in concavity. So what do we have? Let's have a look. So we have 1 and 2 and 3. So 3 point of inflections. So the answer should be B. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.